My name is Andrea Smith. I am a development planner within the Planning Department of the Central Housing and Planning Authority. Today's presentation promised to be equally as exciting as yesterday's presentations. Yesterday, we would have heard from key players within the construction sector, representatives from the EPA, GNBS, IDB, GWI, Republic Bank, just to name a few. And we proceed similarly today. I would like to take the opportunity now to say thank you to all the presenters that would have given an unwavering efforts in preparing very insightful presentations to share and discuss with us this afternoon. At this moment, I would like to invite to the podium Mr. Rajesh Ramgalam, Ms. Mariella Sepal, Development Planner within the Central Housing and Planning Authority, thank you, to moderate the first two sessions for this afternoon. Mariella.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to introduce the first presenter of today, Mr. Dineshwar Bisesar. He's an export manager at Superior Woods with expertise in forestry and forest-related practices. His skills include market trends, market access, and export analysis, and export procedures and requirements. Mr. Bisesar has acquired a diploma in business management and marketing from the Association of Business Executives and a certified associate in project management certificate. He has worked with various entities, to name a few, NIWG, EU, FAO, among others. As a member of the National
This species can be applied in sleepers, bridges, flooring, weathered construction, crane mats, heavy carpentry. It's also used for primarily in the Caribbean, in the resorts, in these islands. It's used for exterior decking, decorative work, mainly exterior work. The commercial species grouped with Tonkameen are Tatabu, Bulletwood, Mora, Purple Heart, and Green Heart. So each species will show the application and the comparison with commercial species. Next slide, please. Morabukia. The application for Morabukia can be used in sleepers, bridges, heavy construction, heavy carpentry, joinery, boat building, industrial flooring. Now these applications are not limited to what I'm listing here. It can be used for other applications, but to summarize the presentation, I listed a few important ones. Commercial species grouped with is Green Heart, Purple Heart, Tatabu, Shibadan, Mora. These are, just to keep in mind, these are category 1, very heavy to heavy density species. Number 4 is Burada. Application, marine construction, heavy construction and flooring. Species grouped with Green Heart, Purple Heart, Locust, Kabakali, Walaba. Next slide, please. Fukadi. The application, the cabinet work, furniture, general construction, interior and exterior joinery, turnery. The commercial species grouped with is Green Heart, Purple Heart, Mora, Locust, Kabakali, and Walaba. Now, there's a company called Florid Guyana, and they have launched their Fukadi flooring at this year's Building Expo. And I would urge the viewers and people that want to visit their booth and see they have beautiful finished Fukadi flooring. And this is a lesser used species and they're trying to market it. And it's only it's launched this year at this year's Expo. Category 2, medium density species. We have cowwood. It's used for light construction, paneling, turnery, boxes and crates, furniture components. Commercial species grouped with locust, kabakali, walaba, shibadan, and crabwood. Now cowwood, over the past, we've seen that a lot of cowwood logs have been exported to Asia, and we would urge like the local lumberyards, contractors, home builders to utilize. This is a beautiful species. At our facility on Yarra on the highway, we had processed a piece of this timber and dried it to see what the grains would look like and what it would be. And to our surprise, it turned out to be a very beautiful species, and it's a lesser used species. The Chinese saw the importance of this species and they were buying it in large quantities a few years ago. We can do the same because, I mean, we can utilize it just the way that they've been utilizing it in Asia. Next slide, please. Soya. Utility plywood, boxes and crates, interior joinery, light furniture, light construction, carpentry. Commercial species group with white cedar, yellow silver barley, crabwood. We notice a lot of soya is used in furniture making. I know Kisun's furniture has been using soya a while now. They've been utilizing soya. Burama has been utilizing soya logs for plywood production as well. Mani application is interior and exterior furniture, components, flooring, general construction, plywood, carpentry. Commercial species group with Dacama, Soya, Determa, Toranero. Now, commercial species Determa, especially Dacama and Determa, or Undeterma. Determa is not readily available anymore because of harvesting. It's a very hard species to get, so we would urge other people that, you know, interested in something similar to utilize Mani. Next slide, please. Darina. Application, general construction, flooring, ceiling, turnery, paneling, furniture components. Commercial species group with Dacama, Soya, Determa, Huvabali. Darina is a beautiful species. It's similar to oak from North America. It has a similar texture, look, but it's a heavier density. About 10 years ago, Darina started entering the local market and the overseas market, and we saw a boost in production for Darina. For logs export, lumber export, kiln-dried materials, flooring, furniture. Volcan Timberworks have been utilizing Darina for furniture, outdoor furniture. Florid Guyana Inc. again has been using Darina flooring. They have labeled it Demerara Oak. That's their label for Darina. And they have been doing a lot of work on the local market selling kiln-dried Darina flooring. It's a beautiful species, and I would urge people, especially home builders, to, you know, familiarize yourself with these species, ask questions. Even the lumberyard, you sit with people when they come to buy your products and explain to them the different species that you have to offer. Too many times we see people just say, they group them together and they call them mixed hardwood. But the applications are different for different species. Instead of calling them mixed hardwood, we should see how we can separate them and sell them per species. Category 3, light to very light density species. We have Maho. Application, plywood, interior joinery, interior trim, light carpentry, blackboards, furniture, components, coffins. The commercial species this can be grouped with is yellow silver valley, Simarupa, and Ulu. We all know that Simarupa is what we would dub as the softwood, but as I explained before, Guyana does not have softwood. We have low density hardwood. So not a lot of people use Maho, but we're urging people to, you know, it will help to save the commercial species, the harvesting of the commercial species, if we step out and try to utilize these species. And it can only be done if we market them and if we introduce them to the market. Darina wasn't very popular. Now Darina is one of the biggest sellers that we have. I wouldn't even list this as a lesser used species anymore, but I put it in the presentation so you can see that what can happen when we introduce these. And it's a big seller in North America as well. For insulated trucks, the bedding, insulated truck framings. Next slide, please. Muniradan. Application, interior and exterior furniture, components, general construction, flooring, plywood, carpentry. Commercial species group with Dacama, Soya, Determa, and Toranero. The next species is Wadara. Application, interior joinery, plywood, light furniture, molding, light construction, and formwork. Commercial species group with yellow silver barley, white cedar, crabwood, Simarupa, and red cedar. Now this specific species looks beautiful with flooring as well. And if you visit again, Florid Guyana Inc., they have launched their Wadara flooring at this year's, inclusive of the Fukadi flooring, they've launched Wadara flooring as well at their booth. You could go and check it out and see. Next slide, please. Dali. Application, plywood, interior joinery, molding, boxes and crates, matches, light carpentry, upholstered furniture, framing, cigar boxes, and coffins. Commercial species group with red cedar, ducali, simarupa, silver bali, white cedar. Now, we all know about the oil and gas sector, and they're utilizing a lot of timber for crating, pallets and crating, on a weekly basis. We're urging companies to, explore and utilize species such as Dali and Duca for your crating purposes. It's light, it's durable, and the applications are such where they can utilize these species. It's light, so it would be beneficial to them. Instead of using the commercial species such as Kabakali, we found that a lot of companies are using, they're calling it garlic wood. I don't have the species up here today, but it's something that is recently being introduced to the market, and they're using it for crating and pallets. Duca, application, plywood, boxes and crates, turnery, molding, light carpentry, upholstered furniture, framing. Commercial species group with white cedar, determa, ulu, and baramali. Duca can be used for farm work, like what we would call farm board. Baramali is the popular species for farm board, but we could also use Duca for farm work as well. Now, these are 15 species that I've chosen. There's a handbook. Next slide, please. There is a handbook, homeowners, builders, handbook on lesser used species. I think they have 21 or 22 species in the handbook. And I would urge the viewers and people, homeowners, builders, contractors, to visit the FPDMC website. You can download the home book. I'm not sure, Paul, do we have copies that we can share out as well? At the forestry booth, you can visit the forestry booth. There are some valuable materials that you can get from the forestry booth to show you the different species that we can have and we can use instead of just using commercial species. I think the general public, sometimes they don't understand the wide variety of species that we can be using, and there's the popular ones, and we're urging them to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions from the lumberyards, from the forest sector operators on the use of these lesser used alternative species. The Guyana Forestry Commission has been pushing, and lastly, I would like to add that all of these species have been tested by TRADA, the Timber Research and Development Association in the UK. So all of the information on the testing can be found in the handbook, where you can either download or get a copy from the forestry booth at the Expo. Thank you.
We thank Mr. Bissessar once again for his very informative and insightful presentation. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions from the live?